Hello everybody, this is the John Crow, and what I wanted to do is to dig a little bit more into presets today, and I was hoping to find a way to add a toggle behavior toggle within my actual experience. Right now, if I hit tab, I've got this voxelized Busain Volt character, and he's just standing there in his idle position, no behaviors or components. I'm just going to call this my Bolt asset. I want to use the toggle behavior component on an animated decoration to be able to switch between at least two different states. And there's a number of ways you could do this with on-off switches, but I was hoping to have the avatar remain in the same spot and enable and disable that animated decoration based on the message being sent over top of the character's current position. So I'm going to move this back just a little bit here. And I guess what I want is to have some kind of a speaker component here, and that speaker component is going to listen for the avatar. And when it does, I want it to broadcast a message that in this case turns his animated decoration on. So there's the connection between the two of those there. But there's always been an issue with toggling behaviors that doesn't quite work the way other behaviors do, and that's what we're going to explore. The first place to start would obviously be with some kind of a speaker component. So I'm going to pull up a speaker component that I use, and let's just drop it right there, and I'll assign the component to it, and we'll have it detect the avatar within maybe like a 2-unit range. And let's actually go 1.5, and I'm just going to drop down a couple of blocks here that help me visualize that. And when the avatar is detected, I want to send a message off. The message I'm going to suggest is on. Let's just go with that. At the same time, this message gets relayed through to the speaker every 5 seconds. So I'm actually going to set that to 0. I just want it to constantly be pinging, or let's go maybe 2 seconds for now. And I'm going to turn off this message. I can use this as a debugging tool, but I'll just say yes for now. We can always turn that off later. So when I hit tab and I run into the zone, we get a yes. I'm also going to make this unselectable, and I'll keep it invisible for now, and let's just call it messenger. So now if I jump over, I get the message yes. Okay, so we now want to take our character, and I want to use that message yes, and I want to be able to send it to him and have it trigger the toggle behavior here. So the initial state for the behavior should be off. And I could do it on an off message. Let's just go there first because I think it would at least show that it works. And so let's say over here we have our off switch. 2 seconds. Made a duplicate of this character, and we'll just have the toggle message. We'll leave that off, and we'll have the initial behavior off. So that's going to put the character into its default idle state right now, which is the default in the animation decoration. So I'm going to add this to just something that's going to be easy to see. So let's just use talk 1. I don't want talk 1 active, so its initial behavior is off, and I'm going to have its on message be on, and its off message be off. Okay, so nothing really new there. We hit on, he gets into his talking. We come back over to here. Interesting that he moves into an idle combat, not an idle 1 or an idle. Get back over to here, he talks. Here we go into this behavior. And again, remember that the message only works every 2 seconds. But in this case, it seems to have turned off entirely. Let's just let it clear out. There we go. He gets back into his talk. And then we go. So maybe we can reduce the amount of time that these are taking. Let's set that to, let's just set it to 0. Let's have it just spam away constantly. 0. talking, instant move to the idle, back to the talking, back to the idle, talking, idle. Okay, cool. I like this one much better. So that's good to know. The next thing I want to do is I want to see if I can get that on-off state to work with a toggle instead, so I don't need to move back and forth. But that's going to involve a few things. First of all, I'm going to have to be able to generate a different speaker component when my character's in this one spot over time. So it's going to mean having to kill off or use some kind of a plant behavior here to spawn a new one and to have that new one spawn the original and vice versa. So there's a number of things that have to happen there. Let's move this over to the middle. I think the first place that I would start would be, let's concentrate on both of these and turning them into presets so that they can spawn one another. So the initial thought would be to add a health component so we can kill it off, and then to use a drop component that drops the off speaker component when it dies. And the drop in this case, I think I've got some luck gems. So this is a rare asset, which gives me a maximum drop of 5. I'm going to turn that to 1. And I'm going to drop a preset, but I don't have the preset yet, so I'll just get that in a moment. And I'm just going to give this asset a name. I'm going to call this my on asset. And this one would be my off asset. Okay, I'm going to add the same components to this one. Health and what was it? Drop. I want this to set to 1. And I'll begin to set it up. I'll build this preset first because I'm going to want to spawn the second preset from this first preset. So let's jump in here. And we're speaking the message off. And so what am I going to use to kill it? When I kill it, I'm going to actually have to speak the message off, or at least pass the message off into the health component. And then life bar, let's turn that off. And I think that's all we really need right now there. The other one is on our drop condition. I'm going to need, so the drop is death. We would need to choose on the health component some kind of a death delay. I'm going to leave it at 0 for the moment. And we need a preset. So the preset we're going to need is going to be the first one. So we're good here. Let's turn this into a preset then, because our death message is off. Our drop condition is based on death. And we're going to be dropping a preset, which is this on asset here. So on this on asset, same kind of a deal. We'll edit it. And we want the kill message for the on message to be on. We don't want to have any kind of life bar display. And we're going to drop a preset as well. So let's keep these settings, which means we need to save each one of these as a preset. So I'm going to call, just so I can track this, this is going to be my on asset, same as the tag name. I'm going to copy that, and we're going to come over to the far left, make a preset, and I'm going to call it my on asset. And I'm going to take this one, call this one my off asset, Control A, Control C. Let's make a new asset out of it, create a new one, and there we go. So now we've got our 2 presets, and we can have each preset spawn the other. The timing is going to be the trick here, though. So in terms of the on asset, which is this one here, it's going to be spawning the off asset, and the off asset is going to be spawning the on asset. Okay. The problem that we're going to run into here, if we look at this first one, is we've got probably a condition that's just not going to work. If you look at the speaker component on our first on asset, it speaks the message on, and then it's expected to destroy that object the component lives on using a health component on the same object. And Sandbox does not allow you to do that. So what we have to do is kind of route it out a bit here. So what I'm going to do instead to work around this is I'm going to find a message broadcaster. I'm going to make it no collisions and invisible. And I'm going to add a message broadcaster. And this is simply going to take my on message, because I cannot use it to kill the health component on it. We're going to message out, which is going to get received by the message broadcaster. And it's going to relay another message. I'll call that message like kill.on back to this object here. And usually whenever we're sending a message through a broadcaster, we could send it to everything in the scene, but for efficiency's sake, we're going to send it to specific tags, which is the on asset. And then we'll have another message broadcaster over here. That's the idea anyways. So I'll take my message broadcaster. I don't want it visible. I'll edit it. And I need to receive a message in order for it to do something. So this is going to be the on message broadcaster. It's on. I'm going to have it broadcast as many times as it needs. The delay between broadcasts is 1. So this is the choke point in terms of time. It just, to relay multiple broadcasts, is going to have a ping time of a second. And we're going to send a message, and we're going to call that sent message once it receives on. I'm going to have it sell kill.on to specific tags in range. And I have this broadcast range. I think it's as big as 96 now, or 100. Oops. Which I don't need. I'm just going to set it to 10. Actually, maybe a little bit bigger in case I ever want to include the NPC. But I'm going to instead send this to specific tags in the range, and I'm going to send the tags to on asset. I'm going to need the same kind of behavior over on the off side. So on the off side, I'm going to duplicate. And this one is going to require the message off. And it's going to send the message kill.off. Now, what this means is I'm going to need to change, I have to change the two, and the tag here should be off asset as well. I'm going to have to change the kill message on each of these on and off switches. So on the off switch, so let's just make this a little bit easier. Under the health component, I'll need to edit that. And the death message is going to be kill.off. Now what's nice about that is there's the off asset tag, so that kill.off is intended for this particular off asset. And then for the on asset, we'll kind of use the same thing. Kill.on. And it's almost like if our message broadcasters are only ever able to relay the message every 1 second, it likely is going to have some impact on the death delay. So I'll kind of just keep that in the back of my mind. And nothing else has changed. I haven't updated my presets. This can kind of be where you're going to have some roadblocks when you're building with presets, is that any changes you make to your preset now, you have to re-export the preset with the same name. However, I should be able to delete this one now. I'm now just focusing in this area, and I'm going to stand in this area, and the on-off message should be being sent out here. And let's just double check our, yep, so we have our toggle message on off. We're starting off with our speaker component that is the on speaker component, detecting the avatar. It speaks the message on, which sends a message out. Kill.on comes back in, kills it, spawns a new one here. It should sit here until the avatar is detected, and we should be in a loop now. All right, let's give it a whirl. Kills. And it's really kind of hard to see these objects because they're invisible. So when we build these, it's probably best to turn the assets back on for now. And I believe I'm going to leave this at 2. I'm going to keep the death delay every 2 seconds, just because 0 is instantly looping. So I turned the object back on, and I'm also changed the length of the death delay and the time for the message spoken to be issued again. So I'm going to go to the presets. I want to overwrite the on asset preset. I'm going to Control V, done. And then to bring out a preset, I'm going to go to my presets folder, find my off asset preset. I'm going to make it visible. I still don't want to collide with it. Oh, interesting. This one hasn't been updated to off, so this one should be an off message. Let's edit that and set the delay to 2 seconds and 2 seconds here. And its instant death message should be kill.off. And there's where I made my mistake, is I forgot to update the preset when I changed the kill message. So that's good to know. So I'm going to actually have to go back into my first preset and do the same thing. Let's take the off asset. Let's export our preset. Let's overwrite this one by giving it the same name, deleting that one. And then let's make sure the kill message on this one is correct. Kill.on. Yeah, that's good. On asset. 2 seconds. On. We should be good. I'm just going to make sure. On asset, paste, change that. Always important. And let's try this again. So we get the character, asset dies, he's in talk mode. He goes back to idle now. And you'll notice here, the problem isn't that it's not working, because we did get a sequence working here, but these speaker components didn't live long enough, like it didn't live through enough iterations. So we need to figure something out here. It could be on these delays. Maybe we need to sync these up a little bit more. Or maybe we need to give the kill time a little longer. Anyways, I'm going to try this one first. So we look at it, it dies, and then it spawns the off one. Off one waits a bit of time, and then yeah, nothing's happening after that. So let's go look at the preset 2 and figure out why it's not updating. So the off asset explodes, but does not drop another preset in death. And here we go. It's because it's not dropping anything. There we go. There's the on asset. Let's go and overwrite the preset one more time. Done. Let's try this out. So character's in an idle. We walk into the zone. He starts talking. Comes back. He's in his off position now. Now he's back into talking. Ah, there we go. So what's neat about this is we could kind of keep looping between these behaviors, but you can see now he's just going to stand here talking until I go back into my zone again. So I come back in and he starts running through that same off on sequence again. So that's actually kind of cool. It's not really what I'd intended, but again, that's what's kind of neat about the sandbox, right? Is that you have an idea that totally fails, and then you try something else and it works. So that's really it for me. My name is the John Crow. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll continue on with some videos on presets and anything else sandbox related. Take it easy.